Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to our latest Z to A podcast with me, Jules and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
Oh, this is where we pick a letter from the alphabet and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools to help improve your own personal development and life. So this episode's letter is...
Well, this episode's letter is P, and we actually have two words for this one. So we've got P for planning, but also P for productivity.
Oh, planning and productivity.
Yeah.
They sound good.
Now, you talked about this last week when we were planning some stuff for our business. You talked about planning and productivity. So we thought we'd give our listeners a double whammy this time.
Yeah.
Planning and productivity. And this coincides with September, which is also some words I never used to like when I was a teenager, back to school.
Yes, it's that week, isn't it, where schools are back open. Teachers are already probably back and doing all their planning already. But as students, yes, it's back to school. So you'll have been out, got all your school uniform, your PE equipment, your new shoes, all that sort of thing that I recall having to do every summer. And that signals the end of the summer holidays, which is very sad.
Yeah, and then of course there's adults who will have had their nice summer breaks and probably have gone back to work, and they'll be thinking also about what they've got to do next and maybe catch up on taking a couple of weeks off. I remember you used to do that, didn't you? When you was managing a training centre, you had to catch up when you went back into work after holidays.
Oh yes, that was always difficult because there was umpteen emails and things to catch up on what's happened whilst you've been away. So yes, but equally, I think it's quite an exciting time because it's new beginnings. For some of you, you may be going into sixth form, which is all brand new and different, or you could be perhaps going to a college, which is again new, or into university. So it's a new beginning, so it can be a really, really exciting time. But equally, if you've sort of reflected over the summer about how your last academic year went and maybe sat down and thought, right, that went really well, I need to continue doing that. Or maybe something didn't go quite so well and you've perhaps worked on how you can improve that over the next 12 months. This is your chance now to put that all into practice and shine.
Yeah, and we can start looking at creating new habits and maybe losing some old ones. So really, really simple one, and this is one that I was always really, really bad at, was my timekeeping. So if you're one of those students who are a couple of minutes late for lessons or a couple of minutes late for school, what's the easiest way of solving that?
Be a couple of minutes early.
It was so simple. And I don't know why to this day I was always a couple of minutes late, because I used to walk to school, so I wasn't relying on a bus. And I used to walk the same route every single day. I knew the route, but I'd still turn up about 2 minutes late. If I'd left the house 5 minutes early, it would have been easy to solve. And that would have gone down really, really well with my teachers. So simple habits like that. But we're also going to look ahead at maybe some habits that we can put into place and maybe some planning techniques that are going to really have a big impact over the next year and get rid of something else, which is another P, procrastination.
It's all about the P's, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of P's today.
Yeah, planning, productivity, procrastination, and I'm going to stick another one in there, pacing.
Oh, pacing. Yeah.
Pace yourself.
Pacing, yeah, I like that. Pace yourself. I'm going to start off with a tool that we give to students when we were going back into the new academic year. So regardless of whether they were starting a sixth form of college or whatever, this could be going from year 9 to year 10 or year 10 to year 11. And this also works really, really well for adults. This is something that we use when we're looking at what we need to do to create a particular project and complete that. So it's all about taking the end goal and working backwards. And we've talked about this in previous podcast episodes on goal setting as well. So if we take some stats here, now a lot of students in the UK that are studying GCSEs will be doing between 8 and 10 subjects on average. That's a lot, isn't it?
Sounds a lot, doesn't it? Yes.
Most subjects have around about 10 topics, and each topic would take about 2 hours to learn. So if we just do really, really simple maths, that would be about 200 hours worth of revision for that topic.
And doesn't that sound a lot?
It's horrendous, isn't it? It's awful.
And that's when you start to think, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Well, let's have a little look how we can do it. It's a simple tool about breaking it down.
200 hours. Let's say you're in school for 40 weeks over the year. We'll give you the holidays off, but you can still revise in those times as well. 200 hours, 40 weeks. If you break that down, that would be 5 hours a week worth of study. That sounds a lot, doesn't it? So if you've done 1 hour a day's worth of study, you can have 2 days off. That's all of a sudden 1 hour a day over 5 days a week is a lot better than doing 200 hours.
Yes, breaking it down to understanding an hour out of your day sounds far more achievable than looking at it in the beginning and thinking, what, 200 hours?
Yeah, and this is where the P for procrastination bit comes in. The longer you leave that 2 hours is still building up. So it's almost putting it into a procrastination bank. And the more stuff that goes in your procrastination bank, the more you've got to learn. The more you've got to learn, the more stressed you're going to get as well.
And then that increases the 1 hour a week to maybe you've got to then start thinking about 2 hours. That planning helps your productivity and eases all the stress that procrastinating will give you.
Sometimes people say they're a little bit busy, and adults, we're really guilty of saying this, aren't we? I haven't got time to do this, I haven't got time to do that. So let's take another little bit of maths here that we've worked out. Now, we all have 24 hours in a day, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, do you get 25?
Sometimes I wish, but no.
No, we all get 24 hours in a day, and that is absolutely everybody, regardless of where you're from, how much money you've got, or whatever, how famous you are, you will have 24 hours a day. If we break down our timeline of the day, now on average, adults and teenagers need around about 8 hours sleep.
Yeah.
So that's a third of your day that's gone. Now, let's say we'll take a school student here. Let's say that the school student's in school for 6 hours a day. That's 6 hours that's gone because they can't really avoid doing that. We have to do things like eat, get ready, travel to and from, commuting and all that. That could technically take another 1, 2, even 3 hours out of the day. That would leave us with 7 hours a day.
Now that seems quite a lot that you've got
does,
7
doesn't it?
hours.
How many hours a day do you think the average teenager spends on their mobile phone?
Do you know what? I think it's harsh to say the average teenager because adults are exactly the same now. Because if you look wherever you go these days, whether you're sat on a bus, whether you go shopping, whether you go out to something to eat, one thing that you notice, and it can be adults, teenagers, constantly on their phones.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's the best part of that 7 hours.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Statistics show it's between 7 and 8 hours.
It's ridiculous.
It is amazing, isn't it? So there's your whole day gone. Now, even if you cut down 1 hour on your phone, imagine what you could do in that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about that, that's one thing that I've been very conscious of over the last few months is putting that phone away. Because at the end of the day, you know, your life's not going to fall to pieces if you're not on Facebook 7 hours a day.
Nah, all them TikTok videos.
No, it's not. Sometimes it's really nice and it's great to have the relaxation of maybe playing a game, catching up with your friends. And I know it's a way of communicating with your friends when you're not at school, but you don't need to have it there on you, distracting you for that whole 7 hours.
So we've got 7 hours a day left, 7 hours on our phone. It's probably a little bit patronising to say, well, something's got to give, but sometimes something could give. We actually realise how much time that we lose just doing different things. I mean, adults might sit there and say, I don't have time to go on my phone. I'm having to pick the kids up from school. I'm having to make the meals, do the washing and all these things as well. And it is very true. But it is a way of looking at how we can be more efficient in our lives. So you can link things together in your daytime. Let's imagine that you commute to work or to school on the bus or in a car or something. Why not listen to a podcast which is relevant to what you're studying? Or if you're an adult doing adult education qualifications, do the same. Listen to something whilst you're driving or whilst you're walking. We have a lot of friends who listen to podcasts while they're running or while they're just out having their daily walk. And that doubles up a little bit of time that it can give you almost 2 hits in one go. 2 for the price of 1. There you go.
It is all about time management. And if you can double things up and use that time wisely, so you're doing your exercise for however long it is that day and you're walking or running, but if you can listen to something or whilst you're driving, it honestly makes you more efficient in terms of your productivity, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Now I'm going to break down that hour's worth of revision over 5 days a little bit more as well, because again, the average person's concentration spell is around about 20 to 30 minutes before we need a very short break. So this is, again, something we'd share with students, but something that we do ourselves when we're working on planning things for business or whatever. Break your 60 minutes down into 20-minute blocks and put a small break in between each one. So you do 20 minutes of study on a particular subject, topic or whatever, have a very short break, which we always used to call a cup of tea break, didn't we?
It's only because I'd make a cup of tea.
That is the one.
Not every 20 minutes, but on one of the breaks, I would certainly have a cup of tea and quite possibly a biscuit.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of tea and biscuits if you were doing that. But have a very, very short break. This could be just, as Jules says, making a cup of tea. It could be standing up and looking out the window for a few minutes. It could be playing your favourite song or something. But then what you must do is go back to do the next 20 minutes.
A friend of ours, he does this, and in that break, what he does, he goes outside into his garden and he does, is it Thai boxing or something?
Oh, yeah.
He practices his moves in that break. So he has a complete break in his mental state and physical state from those 20 minutes and does that really high-powered exercise for 5 minutes. And then he feels envigored to go back to do the study or planning or whatever he's working on.
That's a really, really good tip. So 20 minutes short break, 20 minutes short break, 20 minutes, and then at the end do a quick study recap or a quick summary of what you've actually learned so far. One thing we must avoid in them breaks is perhaps going on our phones, I think, because there's
It's
a
a
distraction.
good idea, yes, because before you know it, you've been on there for easily half an hour to an hour, and you just think, oh, I'll just quickly check this, and you get distracted, something else will pop up, and then you'll think, oh, I'll have a little look at that. And then, that time is gone. And the worst thing is you never get that time back.
Absolutely not. We've broken down 200 hours into 20-minute blocks. And again, you might be the type of person that wants to do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at lunchtime, 20 minutes in the evening. It doesn't matter. It's got to be whatever works best for each individual.
Then what you need to do is plan when you're going to do your revision or when you're going to do your study. The best way to do that is have a timetable, which is kind of like a diary. So you have your Monday right through to Sunday and your hours of time that are your time. So when you finished school or you finished work, what it is that you need to do, when can you do that within your timetable, your diary for that week?
Yeah, that's a really good one. We've seen a friend use this really effectively in their family planning life as well. So they put in all the activities they do each week. Let's say Tuesday evenings, the kids' athletics training. Yeah. So they'll block that time out because they know they've got to go there. They know they've got to spend an hour there. They know they've got to get home and they know they've got to eat before and after that as well. So that evening tends to be out. Tuesday evening's gone then. And this is the same for anybody else who may be at school. Perhaps Sunday morning could be a time where you go out visiting family or you're playing a particular sport again or something like that. Maybe Saturday evening is your time. You go to the cinema and hang out with your friends or do whatever. And then there's the time that you're in school or in work. You have to block that time out where you're not going to be able to revise and study. It's going to be time where you're going to be actually productive in your job or your education or whatever it is that you're doing. So it's about finding the little slots that are going to work for you. And again, this is something we use ourselves, isn't it?
We do. Further to that, we actually colour code it as well. But that helps because, for example, if it's going to be the study or the revision, then you could colour code that red because it's really important. So it stands out in your diary that that's the time that you've allocated yourself to do that. So you know that it's really important. And then think of your favourite colour and use that for doing your favourite things like your sport or your recreation or hanging out with your mates or whatever, and use that. Colour coding the different things, I think, also helps you to visualise and see how you're using your time productively.
So that's fabulous. That's a really, really good tool. As you say, it's almost like a diary. Doing one every single week is probably what we recommend because a new week, a new start, and then plan out the next week afterwards.
That's the thing, because if you've planned it out, then you will have done certain things. So the next week may be slightly different because you may have different things that you need to get done that week. That's why we do it weekly, and that's why we use what's called the Eisenhower method.
Yeah, this is our last tool we're going to share with you in this episode today, and it's definitely one of our favourites. In fact, for me personally, it has been a game changer, the fact that both of us have used this. Now, this was actually devised by US President Dwight Eisenhower, and he developed the Eisenhower Matrix, which he actually used to help him prioritise and plan and deal with the many important issues that he faced as a US Army general and later a commander of the NATO forces and then as a president. Now, this is good enough for a president. I think it's going to be good enough for us to use, isn't it? And we might not be as important as that.
It's not about being important though, is it? Because at the end of the day, your life and what you're doing is important to you. So you're just as important as he is, but this is a fabulous way of putting it down and having it as a visual so that you can easily see what it is that you need to be working on. So how does it work?
Really simple. So we start off with a to-do list. We like to-do lists because you just write down every single thing that you got to do. And at this point, don't think about how you're going to do them. Just write down the list of everything you got to do.
And this can be everything that you have to do, not just towards your study, your school, your work, absolutely everything. Even if it's something like, I don't know, taking your trousers back to the shop because they don't fit or you don't like them. You bought them and you think, well, no, taking them back.
30-day refund on some of them, don't you? Yeah, check the refund. So the next step is you just draw a quadrant with 4 squares in it. And at the top you put down urgent and at the bottom you put down non-urgent. So when you're thinking of urgent, we use this in our business. What's urgent? What needs doing this particular week? And what's non-urgent? What can wait till next week? And on the left-hand side, we have essential. And on the right-hand side, we have non-essential. If we're using this for our business, we think what's essential to our business and what's non-essential to our business. This would also work with study. So what's essential to your study and what's non-essential to your study. And then you take the top box, which would be the top left, and in that box is urgent and essential. So what's urgent and essential to your study or to your business or to your work or whatever? A student used a really powerful example that we have referred back to here. They had a Romeo and Juliet scene that they were actually practicing as part of their drama. Mm-hmm. And that had to be done this week. So that went in urgent and essential to their study. They also had some work they needed to do on the Cold War facts as part of history, but that didn't need to be done this week. So they put that in non-urgent but essential to their study. Now, you mentioned about taking the trousers back to the shop. That's not urgent at the moment because we probably don't need to do that today or maybe even this week if we've got 30 days. But it's certainly not essential to your study either, is it?
No, it isn't.
But what we might do is we might go and buy them trousers, think, oh no, they're the wrong size. I've got to go back into town and change them. I've got to go back to the shop and change them. I've got to take them back to the Amazon's dispatch or whatever, and send them back. That could be something we could think, oh, as annoying as that is, do I really need those trousers right this minute? And by using that little planning document alongside your diary, it's really powerful. And as we say, it's been a game changer for us, hasn't it?
It has, because it helps you to prioritise that to-do list, all the things that you have to do, and understanding the difference between whether it's urgent or non-urgent or essential and non-essential is quite key to which box you put it into. So, for example, like Mark just explained, if you've put things that are urgent and essential and need to be done that week in your top left-hand box, then absolutely that's what you're focusing on. Now, in your bottom left-hand box, that will be things that are essential to your study or to your business or to your everything you've got to do that particular week, but it's not urgent. It doesn't need to be actioned that week. But if you look at the following week, often that stuff that's in the bottom left-hand one will go up into the urgent because the following week it is now on that needs to be done list.
Absolutely.
That's why we do it weekly, because the things, they move around, because when you start doing it, some things won't be as urgent, but they do become as it gets closer to the deadline of it.
Yeah, it's really simple. And it's sometimes hard while you're listening to the podcast to visualise all these tools. So we actually have a programme called Smart in Your Study, which is on our website. And there's also a book called Smart in Your Study as well. So you can read or engage in the video content or even better, do both. It's
can.
like a workbook, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's got all of our tools in there, so it's essential.
It's essential.
It's essential for you to do your planning and to be productive.
And avoid the procrastination.
Absolutely.
So procrastinate no more. Head over to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. On there you can find details of the aforementioned book and also online programme. But we have loads of other resources as well on our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. We also have a YouTube channel, and we're on LinkedIn if you want to reach out to us, because we are
everywhere.
And we look forward to catching you in the very next episode. Have a great week planning, and we shall see you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.